guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. It's a nice Saturday morning. It's about 45 degrees. Sun's out, so it doesn't feel as cold as it is. Anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed yesterday's video. It was the first time that I did a collaboration with, a planned collaboration with another wrencher. As you guys saw, we did a little bit of acting in the beginning. It was fun to do the edits. It took a long time. Now I understand and appreciate how Terrell does some of his videos, because you're talking about different angles and multiple edits. Cuts, splicing, putting them together, matching up the sound and all that stuff. It could be really complicated. That front part where I actually talked to Jason back and forth, that took like 2 hours to do, you know? But I do everything on my phone. So it was a little bit more challenging, but very rewarding in the end when you put it all together. And you know, every time I watch it, I kind of chuckle at myself and us doing it, you know. So it was fun. Thanks again to Jason over at Pate's Performance. I know it's kind of hard to find his channel sometimes because of the apostrophe S behind Pate's. If it was just one word, I think it might be easier for him, but whatever it is, it's already done, so don't change it, because your links won't work again if you change it, you know. So Pate's Performance on YouTube. You can also find him on Instagram too. And when you go follow him, tell him that Henry sent you, so that he knows that the increase in his subscribers was due to the video that he helped me make. A little bit disappointing in the video is that we did not get to see the EFI engine. I wanted to know everything there was about the electronic fuel injection for the snowblower engines. And I remember that last year I saw one on the X3, but we didn't find it this time. Maybe it doesn't work too well and they're not marketing it anymore, you know. But I was confused because the EFI engines on those snowblowers, right? It didn't look any different than the conventional ones that we're used to on snowblowers, right? It still have the carburetor there. So I don't know, maybe the engine block is molded and designed to have a carburetor there. So to incorporate electronic fuel injection, maybe you have to hollow out a special carburetor. It's a carburetor, you hollow it out and you put the circuits in there, you know, to allow for EFI, either before or after or both, you know. Anyway, we'll find out some more about it in the future. You know, if I do run into one, I'll definitely do a video on EFI, because I personally would like to know how that crap works, you know, and whether or not it might be worth it, because well, one of the biggest things about small engine equipment is, will it start? You know, will it start? Well, as you know, your car always starts, right? It's fuel injector. So that would be great if they can get lawn tractors and snowblowers and all that stuff. They can get that electronic fuel injection perfect, you know, and just turn the key, it starts up on the first fire up every time. That would be good. Obviously, it's going to be more expensive, and also probably more problems may happen to it, you know. But anyway, today's video, sorry, I'm going to be continuing on my Bilt. It'll be part 4 of my Bilt lawn tractor. I did get a drive belt in, and I'm going to be installing that drive belt to see if this thing moves backwards and forwards. I mean, I know it does, but hopefully I'll be able to put it together right, you know. Put the mower deck back on, and maybe swap out the front wheels, because the front wheels are flat, you know. I think I have some old MTD tires and wheels that hold air. I'm just going to put them on. They're yeller, but I could always paint them white, you know. You know, this is what's annoying to me, okay? My yard is, for the most part, free of leaves, for the most part. You know, some is going to fall here and there and blow here and there, but my next door neighbor in the back, she has landscapers. When the landscapers come and blow her leaves, right, they blow underneath, around the bed, and all her leaves go underneath the fence and come onto my property. So now, even though, you know, my lawn is relatively clean of leaves, she blows her leaves over on my yard. So you landscapers out there, professional landscapers out there that are watching, that's not cool. Not cool at all. So now I gotta go fire up my machine and suck up leaves that you blew into my yard, you know? That's jacked up, bro. But since I don't really ever blow back here with my blowers, right? I've got some leaves trapped in between my mess over here, right? And maybe I should fire up my backpack blower and blow it out a little bit more cleaner and then suck them up with my riding mower. Got my belt. I always get my belts from D&D Power Drive belts. They're on eBay. They always send their belts right away, and they're always the cheapest that I've seen on eBay. So the belt from the schematics that I got from the model number under the seat of this Bilt tractor, right, showed the OEM one was about $36. Okay, that's a lot. It's 5/8 width by 90 inches. So instead of buying the $36 OEM one, I just searched on eBay 5/8 by 90 inches, same exact length and width of the OEM belt, right, for $36. And sure enough, D&D is always the cheapest. It's a generic belt. $10.15. How do you beat that? $10. You know what I mean? I've bought probably 20 belts from D&D. They've always been reliable, good quality, cheapest on eBay. Of course, they charge tax now on eBay, so it was like $10.75, $10.85. $5L900 Thermoid Select. I mean, this is heavy duty. I mean, so heavy duty I can't even straighten it, you know what I mean? So anyway, this is the belt I'm going to be putting on. The Bilt, see if it moves forward and backwards. I think it should be no problem. The problem is to get a 5/8 belt over the pulleys and stuff and route it through the 10,000 belts they have underneath this tractor. It sucks. While I was in the backyard, I whipped out a MTD double stack pulley for the crankshaft. This is to drive the mower deck as well as this drive belt. Man, it's so stiff. Look at that. It's a small pulley, huh? Which means it won't go that fast. Unless the pulley on the transmission is small, then it might go fast. Transmission the transmission pulley is always big. So if you wanted to make your tractor go really fast, you can kind of figure out a way to, if you didn't have a mower deck, of course, flip this around, maybe cut this part, weld the big one underneath there, right? So you'll have this crankshaft pulley on the big pulley, right? And then put a small pulley on the transmission, and you'll go really fast. But then you can't really use that lawnmower to mow lawns. It's just some thing drive around fast, you know. No real use for it except why don't you just go buy a go-kart, you know. Anyway, so I'm gonna fire up the Red Max today. I haven't used it since I fixed it, you know. While it ran great when I fixed it, who knows, sitting for a couple of weeks, maybe it won't even start, you know. I almost sold that thing for $350 too. One big complaint I have about these Red Maxes is that it's big and heavy. Big and heavy. Let's see if this thing starts. Let's see. Remember, is it back? Full throttle? It's back. Choke. Prime. There we go. Almost.
I barely walk with this thing.
final cleanup of the year, or so I thought it was, until some other landscaper blows their leaves into my yard. It's not the final one. And I have a feeling that it's going to happen again, so I left some gas into that thing, and so maybe I might have to do it again. I was in the backyard and I was looking. This is a front end off of an MTD lawn tractor, the one that I stripped, right? I think it has two good tires on it, and they're white, you know? I took off the cap. It's the same kind of attachment to it. You slip it on the axle, washer, and a cotter pin goes right through it. That's it. That's all there is to it. So if this thing holds air, I just put these two tires onto the Bilt, because those two Bilt tires are Dunsky. I'm going to pump up the tires, and while I put on the drive belt, I'm going to see if this holds air for that duration of time. Tube in here, he has the nozzle, you know, the air nozzle on the inside. That just makes it so much harder to put air in it when you're when this front end is attached, you know. I don't know why people do that, but what, so you don't see it? Would you rather it be easier for you to put air in it than cosmetically not see a nozzle sticking out? I mean, whoever looks at the nozzle. Honestly. Looks like this is a tube also. So I'll just let this sit here while I'm working on the drive belt, see if it holds air. I have a feeling it might. No matter what, it's better than this one right here, you know. So we've got this engine running, and I guess I'm gonna flip it on its side, at least most of it, and then put the mower deck belt on, or at least make an attempt. See if I can flip it on its side. Ooh! A lot heavier when you have an engine on there, for sure. Hey there. Ooh. So here's a good view of the bottom of the tractor. That's tractor. I have stuck that end of the new belt. I just fished it basically into here. Just grabbed it and pushed it. It's supposed to go underneath the big transmission pulley. And it's supposed to loop around this pulley right here. Now I wasn't able, I mean I took off the nut to let it loose, right?
But until I took the battery off, it wasn't able to come off completely. So I think it could come off completely, fish the thing around it, put it back on, slip it over. Doesn't help that the belt is so stiff too, because it's new. No flex to it. Man, oh man. There's no space there between the pulley and the frame. I'll work on it. It'll take forever. Alright, so it took some doing to take the pulley completely off. Fished it through the top, let it have space to get it in. Finally it did get in. So now I'm going to route it. I hope I remember how to route it. But see these two pulleys here? They're both flat pulleys, which is confusing because usually if you have a V-belt, right, which this is, right, somewhat, you know, it's not as angled as a regular V-belt, but it's because it's super thick, you know. These are both flat. None of these pulleys are V-belts, so it's hard to really understand. But since you know this thing moves, I have the brake on. See how that moves up and down like that? So this here is supposed to pull upwards to tighten this belt. So I'm thinking this has to go on the top, because that tightens the belt. Oh, man. I should have fished it through this opening first. Damn. Why is this so hard? Alright. You get it, right? I have to fish it through here. And with this being so stiff, I might have to like zip tie this like that or something, just so at least it's not so wide to get it through, you know? Might be the only way. So there's actually a bolt in there that's stuck in there. It acts as a keeper, and it's preventing me from getting this thing all the way in there. The only way to remove it is I have to remove this assembly right here, just so I have access to it. And of course it's moving along with it. And of course the engine's in already, so it's can't even get your hand in there, you know. Maybe I could use a ratchet. That's what it is. It's definitely a keeper, see? It has a sleeve over it that lets it spin. So you know that the belt's supposed to rub on it. So that was in the way. of me putting it through. I put a zip tie over this so it bends it, so now I can fish it through. Let's see if it works. There we go. Check it out. Yep, there's another keeper there. Another keeper there. Yeah, so got that on that other side now. So this is the pulley on the back that I had to move right below the transmission pulley. That's a Varadrive type pulley. Varadrive means it's double stacked, right? And along with the speed, it the middle plate goes up to grab that one, or it goes down this way to grab the second one. I don't know exactly how it works, but pretty ingenious. Alright. So I think that's right. I'm not sure. This thing has to go over the keeper here. I think that's right. And this thing goes around the pulley. That's going to be tough because the engine's already in it, you know? It's quite a pull. It's going to be tight. I'm going to cut the zip tie. Look at that. Look at that, how tight that is. I mean, it's like right there, you know what I mean? So here's the pulley. Try to put this on first. Okay, got it around the pulley. Ooh. Ooh. I think I've got it. Yeah, yeah. I think I've got it, fellas. Fellers. It's on there. As you can see, this part here where it's molded actually acts as the keepers for the drive belt inside the top drive pulley. So it's inside now. I have to find a bolt, which I don't have, and I don't know. I think that's right. See, step on the gas pedal, pulls it upwards, it tightens the belt, tightens the Varadrive pulley, spins the, oh shoot, I forgot to put the top belt on for this one first. I wonder if I could fish it in there without. Man, can you imagine if I had to take this whole thing apart again? I would lose my mind. I know you guys can't see too well, but I managed to fish this short belt right here over the transmission pulley to the top part of the Varadrive pulley. Now I have to just get it over this tension idler, this idler pulley here. So I need a crowbar. Put it over here. Stretch this with one hand or my thigh. There we go. Release. There we go. I think that's right. I hope that's right. It's over all the pulleys now. All the pulleys have a belt. Whether it's on right or not, I have no idea. You know what? It's the way it's gotta be, man. So, I think that's right. So now I have to find a bolt for that double stack pulley. That's going to be interesting. So this pulley, while I know it's an MTD pulley, right? It doesn't fit. Why? Because look, I'll show you. So if you push this all the way in, which it was, right? Well, now it's not going in because... Alright, so it's all the way in. Look at that. It's too short. So if I put a bolt here, this is the crankshaft. If I put a bolt here, it won't even touch. You know what I mean? So this is like the wrong pulley for this. It has to be longer, or it has to have a top lip to it. You know, to the bottom of the engine. So this is a Briggs & Stratton one. Okay. It has this top lip. You know. I mean, I don't even know if this one has it, but whatever it is, this is too short. I mean, I need to put either a spacer on the top there or a spacer over here, which I don't want to do. So I'm going to take this off and I'm going to try that one. So, an hour and a half later, I finally sort of figured it out. So the two pulleys, well, the one pulley that I thought was an MTD one, right? And it is an MTD one, but it doesn't have a lip that goes up. So when you put this in, this thing is touching, like, you know, the bottom of the sump pan. This thing right here. The lip doesn't stick out like this one. See how it has this part here where it sticks out, so it stops it from going anymore? Well, this one doesn't have it, and this is an MTD one, right? So I tried this one. I stuck it in, right? And it doesn't go all the way in. You stick your finger in here, and it stops. There's like another lip on the inside, and it's only allowed to go in like 2 inches instead of 3. So when you stuck it in, this thing wasn't matching up with the belt. It was like an inch short, you know? So of course, taking it off and putting it on was like ridiculous because the belt, you have to stretch the belt around it to whatever, get it in. So I had trouble getting this back out again. So that took me a long time. Finally I did it without breaking the belt, you know? And I found this other pulley in the back, in my parts thing. It was the only one that would fit. So it fit, but this is the kind where you need a washer to whatever, to put it here. So the bolt that I couldn't find a bolt that was exactly the right size, so I have to fill up the inch and a half or 2 inches with a bunch of washers and a spacer. So whatever, it's on here, you know what I mean? I'm a little worried about the deck pulley. The deck pulley's circumference is slightly larger than the MTD one. So you know what that means? That means that the belt to the deck is going to be tighter than normal. Which means that if I start the engine with the deck on, the blades might move without me engaging the PTO. But you know what? I'll work at that. There are ways of adjusting it, and you know, maybe there's enough give that it will, or maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll work, I don't know. But either way, I wanted to get this on so at least we know the drive moves. Man, it sucked. It was really, like, I'll say it again. This MTD Troy-Bilt lawn tractor is one of the toughest tractors I've ever had to work with. It sucks. And Well, my friend Andy, I helped him go buy this thing, you know. He has the same one with a bigger engine. Well, I helped him get it. I'm afraid that if it ever breaks, I have to go and help him fix it, and I'm not looking forward to it. It sucks, okay? Really difficult to work on. I mean, far cry from like a Craftsman LT1000. Holy cow, what a difference. This LT1000s is far easier to work on. And of course, I had the engine on its side, moving the pulley around. So guess what? That's right, a lot of oil leaked out from the carburetor, I believe. Watch me crush myself. Oh, you know what? Wait a minute, hold on. Before I do that, look. I might as well change the wheel now while I have it up in the air like this. Save me a step, you know what I mean? So because this is done with a washer in there and a cotter pin straight through, it's so rusted, right? So when I tried to pull the cotter pin out, it broke on both ends. So there's a cotter pin end inside here. While I will be able to take off this wheel, right? I have to take something and try to knock that pin out of that hole, otherwise I can't get another cotter pin in there. What a pain! But thankfully the wheel came off, so I'll be able to at least try this. It's a nail. It's not working.
Henry, don't hurt your hand. You're gonna bang your fingers.
So there's some play. The play restricts you from getting a good contact with the hammer. So you almost have to hold it so that there's no play. You guys know what I mean? It's physics. Oh, see? It's so difficult that the nail is bending. Maybe the nail's too thick. This thin nail ought to work. Man, what is in here? Incredible. Absolutely incredible. What's in there? Aha! Finally. Finally, it's clear. That was difficult. Of course, it's always difficult. I have to put some grease on there. I'm using some Red and Tacky spray grease from my friends over at Lucas Oil. Cool. I'll spray some inside the wheel. Is this not the same type of wheel? Maybe it's not, because it's really difficult to get on here, and it looks like something scratches. No, I think somebody put the tire on wrong. That's why the tire was on backwards. See? That's why the nozzle is on the other side. Dumbass put the tire on wrong. Eh, whatever. As long as it's on here. Stick a brand new cotter pin in here now. That's it. That's how this attaches. So we've got one good tire on there now. Gotta clean up this oily mess I got from here. Or here. Yeah. Okay, I sort of cleaned up the mess. I'm going to put this battery pan back in. So I can put the batteries back in. Now I got the battery back in. Could at least put the seat down. And let's see if this thing moves. You know what I mean? So I just tried to start it again, and for some reason it wouldn't start. So I just took the whole cover off, and that entire assembly just flew off. I don't know why. Okay, put the starter back together again. Let's see if it moves. Success! Drive belt fixed. Pulleys on there. I don't know what happened to the starter, but I took this old starter and took the top off and put it on there. I'm gonna have to change the engine cover anyway, because I don't have that black engine cover for the 21 Intech. You know, it's shaped differently. It's not rounded. It's more like angled. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, I don't want to go buy one, so I'm just gonna put one of those metal ones on there and put a filter on the air cover. And well, that's great. You know, that works and all that stuff. But that took a long time. You know what I mean? This took a long time. I'm just gonna put the other wheel on there, and then I'm done-ski. I mean, I've spent all day on this. It's really unbelievable. I mean, this could have taken like 5 episodes at least, maybe 6, maybe 7. This could be the longest ever project I've ever done on a lawn tractor. I mean, I gotta tell you guys, this Bilt made by MTD tractor sucks. It's so hard to work on. Cut this wheel off. With a tube in it. Oh, here's the spring to the starter. Then keep that. I mean, if I just think about it, I've got still so much left to do. That deck, I need to swap out some new blades, because remember that deck's blades are Dunsky. terrible condition. So I need to find some blades that'll accommodate that. Also, I have to see if all the fittings and stuff, and not fittings, the spindles and bearings and all that stuff needs to be lubed up and stuff, you know. So I've got still plenty to do. Got to get that deck done. Got to install the deck. It may literally take a whole episode just to install that deck. That deck sucks. And I think their intention was to make it easy, but it's definitely not easy, you know. Look, I'm having a difficult time just putting this damn wheel on. I hate this tractor. But you know what? To get it from junk, right? Which basically this was. It was just junk, right? It's literally, it was just a carcass of crap. A carcass of crap is what it was. And to get it so it moves with an engine, that's something right there, right? And so that's something to be desired, I guess, is see if you can make crap into something that actually functions and runs, you know. So far, and you know, it would be a shame if I spent a lot of money on it, you know. And I kind of did, because if you think about it, I spent maybe $50, 60 or 75 getting this engine running, right? I had to buy like 3 gasket kits, piston and rings. I had lots of other parts that I, needed to put together, but remember the smoky engine? That's the smoky engine. Smoky engine is being utilized on this piece of crap. But, honestly, I'm stoked about it because I didn't think that smoky engine was going to work. You know what I mean? I thought the smoky engine was still going to smoke, and then I would have been out that money that I spent getting the smoky engine to work. So I'm glad that actually the money that I spent to get it to work, it does actually work. And it doesn't smoke. So that's a good part about it. And to put it on this piece of junk, I guess that's okay. See, I didn't use a jack, I just did this. That doesn't work because that thing has to be in the front, not the back. Alright, that's it. That's all I'm doing. Had enough. Had enough. So, alright. We've got front wheels now that are not flat, right? We've got front wheels on that are not flat. I still need the left side panel. I need to put together the engine cowling for this and a filtration system. Gas tank we got taken care of. Got to put the deck on, got to put blades on the deck. Got to tune up the deck to make sure it's good enough to put on. Once I put it on, that's a whole episode. I still am missing the left side panel, but at least I've got tires that hold air. Didn't spend any money on it. Rear tires hold air. We know that it moves forward and backwards. Engine runs without smoking. I do have a new battery. I went and got it with Jason Pate. So I got a battery if I needed to put it on, but it seems like it's alright, Charges too. Got to figure out how to put the hood on, because the bracket over here on this thing, because it's all broken, so I can't put it on. I need for this to be solid, I need the other side to, structurally hold it together, 4 corners, that. And then the bracket to put the hood on is not here, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that. To get that drive pulley on took all day. The drive belt on took all day. To find the right double stack pulley with the right crankshaft bolts for it to hold it up there was tough too, That was really, really tough. If you ever break your drive belt, good luck, because if somebody paid me to do it, I would not do it. It sucked. But that was it for today, man. Just putting on the damn drive belt and new wheels and stuff. But I successfully did it, and I guess I'm pretty happy about that. So now we've got a lawn tractor that runs, moves forward, moves backwards, and has tires. So it's getting there, but it's going to take more, for sure, a lot more. But thanks for following me along today, guys. I'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. Hey guys, support my channel. Buy a sticker. Also, follow me on Instagram at Mowers Blowers. Check out my website, mowersblowers.com. See you guys on my next project. Have a great day.
See you next time on Mowers and Blowers.